Hello students, you are welcome in our college in the lecture number 5 of a chapter of chemical thermodynamics. In the last lecture, we have seen nature of work and nature of heat. There we have studied that in mechanics, work is supposed to be done on an object whenever object undergo displacement in the direction of applied force. So work is a product of force and displacement. But in thermodynamics, we are considering PV type of work, pressure volume type of work, and that PV also comes equal to force into displacement, that we have studied in detail. So PV is equal to also F into D, that we have seen. Then we have studied work of compression is positive, that is the work done by surrounding to system. Work of expansion is negative, that is the work done by system to the surrounding. And then we have seen the nature of heat. Heat is a mode by which system can exchange its energy with the surrounding, same as that of the work. Same as that of the work, heat is also a mode by which system can exchange its energy with the surrounding. That is the account of last lecture. And in this lecture, there also, in that lecture also, I have told you the units of units of work and units of energy are same. There also I have told you, no much more focus is given in your book on the units, but that focus is important in order to solve the problems. So we are taking a separate lecture on the units of work. So this part is very much important to study the units of work. Now let us see units of work, some important units and sign conventions. See this part included in this slide. I have included this part in this slide. Either you have to keep it in mind or you have to by heart. The part over here you have to by heart. The important part, calculation part, comes next slide onwards. The unit of work and unit of energy is joule. For work done, we have studied, it is minus PEXT. We have seen the expression. Expression for work done we have studied, dW will be equal to minus P external into change in volume. This expression we have studied. And here it is nothing but pressure and volume. Change in volume means volume. Therefore, considered as pressure, work done is a product of pressure and volume from that expression. If pressure is given in Newton per meter square, volume will be in the meter cube. And by multiplying, what we will get? We will get Newton into meter, Nm, Newton meter, that is nothing but the joule. Then, if we consider the work done in liter atmosphere, we have to consider pressure in terms of atmosphere and volume in liter. Liter, that is nothing but decimeter cube. So, pressure in atmosphere, volume in liter, the unit of work done will be liter atmosphere. And then calculation factors, conversion factors. 1 liter atmosphere will be equal to 24.22 calories. This part you have to by heart. 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joule. That also you have to by heart. If you know this factor and this factor, you can convert 1 liter atmosphere directly to joule. Because 1 liter atmosphere is this much calories and 1 calorie is equal to this much joule. Therefore 1 liter atmosphere is nothing but, by doing cross multiplication, 24 into 4, almost that is 100, or 1.0132 into 10 raised to 2 joule. Further we know 1 joule is equal to 10 raised to 7 ergs. Therefore this liter atmosphere joule converted to erg, this factor will be multiplied by 10 raised to 7, and that comes 1.0132 into 10 raised to 9 ergs. This part is the part where this onward you can perform the calculations, but initial part you must know this value, 1 liter atmosphere, 1 calorie, and next part we can perform the calculations. These are important units. Unit of work done is joule, where pressure is taken in Newton per meter square, volume taken in meter cube, their multiplication is Newton meter. In liter atmosphere, pressure taken in atmosphere, volume taken in the liter. 1 liter atmosphere is nothing but 24.2222 calories. 1 calorie is 4.186 joule. Therefore directly by doing the cross multiplication, 1 liter atmosphere is 1.0132 into 10 raised to 2 joule, and we know 1 joule is 10 raised to 7 erg. Therefore 1 liter atmosphere is equal to 1.0132 into 10 raised to 9 ergs. This slide part, most of the part over here you have to by heart. Now we are studying the convergence of pressure, how pressure from one unit is converted to the pressure of another unit. Because see, in that previous slide also, sometimes we have to convert the pressure. See here, suppose pressure, if the pressure is given in one unit, we have to convert it into the another unit. Why it is necessary? See here. Suppose if pressure is given in Newton per meter square and asked to calculate the work done in liter atmosphere, because volume is given in liter, volume given in the liter, but pressure is given in Newton per meter square, and you are asked to calculate the work done in liter atmosphere. So what you have to do? You have to convert Newton per meter square into the atmosphere, right? Or on the other hand, if the pressure is given in atmosphere, volume is given in meter cube, and you are asked to calculate the work done in joule, at that time what you have to do? You have to convert atmosphere into Newton per meter square. Therefore convergence of pressure from Newton per meter square to atmosphere, or from dyne per centimeter square to Newton per meter square, that is also important part. So let us consider the convergence of pressure. For conversion of pressure, we must know the basic terms. How the pressure is equal to HdG. Why? That pressure is nothing but HdG. H is height of mercury in the mercury column, mercury manometer. D is density of mercury. G is gravitational acceleration. Why P is equal to HdG? See over here from this equation. It is not given in your book, but that is important part. We know volume is nothing but mass upon density, or density therefore is mass upon volume. But what is volume? Volume is nothing but area into height. So if this volume is replaced by area into height, we will get density is equal to mass divided by area into height. Taking H on left side, it becomes Hd is equal to m upon A, mass upon area. Multiplying both sides by G, gravitational acceleration, this become HdG, and this become mg upon A. What is mg? Mass into gravitational acceleration, that is force, written here force. So HdG will be equal to force per unit area, and we know force per unit area is nothing but the pressure. That is how pressure will be equal to HdG, that is height of mercury in mercury manometer into density of mercury into gravitational acceleration. See it once again. I have included this part in your notes also. See it thoroughly. Now how those conversions are done. Conversion of pressure from one term to the other term. 1 atmosphere pressure is equal to HdG. If pressure is in 1 atmosphere, at that time height of mercury in mercury column, mercury manometer is 76 centimeter, that is 760 millimeter of mercury. So what is HdG? Substituting the unit values. H is height in centimeter, D density in grams per centimeter cube, G gravitational acceleration centimeter per second square. On solving this, centimeter and here 2 centimeter cancels, 1 and 2. So here 2 cancelled, 1 is remaining, and therefore gram divided by 1 centimeter second square. Let this is equation number 1. What we are getting from this equation, pressure is equal to gram divided by centimeter second square. This is nothing but the pressure, because P is equal to HdG. We are calculating pressure, gram divided by centimeter second square. Also, what is pressure? We have studied in the previous slide. Pressure is nothing but force per unit area, where force is mass into acceleration in dynes. Mass into acceleration, force in the dynes, divided by area centimeter square. So if we solve this, mass taken in gram multiplied by G acceleration centimeter divided by second square, acceleration centimeter divided by second square, then divided by centimeter square, means 1 upon centimeter square. If we solve this centimeter, then this will cancel. So what we will get? Gram divided by centimeter second square, gram divided by centimeter second square. This is also pressure. This is pressure, this is also pressure. Same units, as right hand side of equation 1 and 2 is same. Therefore this is the pressure, that is force per unit area. This is also a pressure, force per unit area in dyne per centimeter square. So that is how this is the pressure in dyne per centimeter square. Therefore I have written here, since equation 1 is equal to 2, therefore that is the pressure in dyne per centimeter square. Further, one atmosphere is nothing but HdG. Now substitute the values. This is the part of now calculation. H is equal to 76 centimeter, I have told you. Density 13.6. Gravitational acceleration, this you know. This I have told you. This part you have to keep it in mind by heart. These 3 terms you must know. And HdG we have studied is in the unit of dyne per centimeter square. If we substitute all these 3 values, what is 1 atmosphere? 1 atmosphere is nothing but HdG multiplication of all those terms. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 multiplication. So 1 atmosphere is equal to, if we solve this, you will get that answer. On solving this totally, 980 into 13.6 into 76, we will get this answer. What is the unit? Dyne per centimeter square. And that dyne per centimeter square we have to convert into Newton per meter square. Why? Because in the first slide I have told you work done in joule, pressure in Newton per meter square, and volume in the meter cube. Therefore this dyne per centimeter we have to convert to Newton per meter square, and for that purpose we know this equation. 1 Newton per meter square is 1 Pascal. In the dynes we must know, over here it is 1 dyne is equal to 10 raised to minus 5 Newton. Therefore this dyne we have to convert to Newton, means multiplied by 10 raised to minus 5. So that dyne is converted to Newton, because 1 dyne is 10 raised to minus 5. Dyne converted to Newton by multiplying by this factor, divided by centimeter square. But 1 centimeter is 10 raised to minus 2 meter. Centimeter square means 10 raised to minus 4. So this equation is divided by 10 raised to minus 4. You got it? Why this equation is multiplied by 10 raised to minus 5 and divided by 10 raised to minus 4? Because 1 dyne is 10 raised to minus 5. Convert dyne to Newton multiplied by 10 raised to minus 5. Divided by centimeter square already. Convert centimeter square to meter square. Centimeter is 10 raised to minus 2. Centimeter square is 10 raised to minus 4. Therefore divide it by 10 raised to minus 4, so that dyne per centimeter now will get Newton per meter square. And dividing this, only the terms are cancelled, no too much calculations. That answer comes equal to 1.013 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. If we solve this, we will get this answer. Further, 1 Newton per meter square is nothing but 1 Pascal. Newton per meter square, that is also known as Pascal. In kilopascal, we know 1 kilogram is equal to 10 raised to 3 gram. 1 kilogram is equal to 10 raised to 3 gram. In the similar manner, 1 kilopascal is equal to 10 raised to 3 Pascal. 1 kilopascal is 10 raised to 3 Pascal, means 1 Pascal is 10 raised to minus 3 kilopascal. So similarly here, 1 Pascal is equal to 10 raised to minus 3 kilopascal. Same as that of the relation between kilogram and gram. Therefore, finally 1 atmosphere is this much Newton per meter square, or the same Pascal. And for kilopascal, multiplying this by 10 raised to minus 3, we will get 1.013 into 10 raised to 2 kilopascal. Kilopascal, KPA written there. This is also equal to 1.013 into 10 raised to 2 kilopascals. That is there about the convergence of pressure. You must know how to convert Newton per meter square to Pascal, to kilopascal, to atmosphere, to the dyne per centimeter square, because 1 atmosphere is this much Newton per meter square. 2 atmosphere means this is multiplied by 2, that much Newton per meter square. To convert atmosphere to Newton per meter square, or Newton per meter square to atmosphere, is possible from these conversions. So these conversions are important while solving the problems. Next, last part from the units is nothing but the convergence of volume. This is very simple. You are studying the convergence of volume since your first standard in what we call Ankalipi. There also it is there. 1 liter is nothing but 1000 milliliter. Milliliter is nothing but centimeter cube, and that is also known as 1 decimeter cube. To convert decimeter cube into meter cube, this is multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. 10 raised to minus 3 is the multiplying factor for converting liter to meter cube. So suppose if 2 liter is given, so it is how many meter cube? It is nothing but 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter cube. Liter 2 meter cube multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. So meter to liter, how meter cube 2 liter multiplying by 10 raised to plus 3. Those type of conversions. Further, 1 ml is nothing but 1 cc cubic centimeter, 1 centimeter cube. To convert it to the decimeter cube, multiplied this by 10 raised to minus 3 decimeter cube. Again multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3, it becomes 10 raised to minus 6 meter cube. So conversion of cc to the decimeter cube to the meter cube is also important. For example, suppose we have 4000 cc, means 4000 milliliter cubic centimeter. So how much liter it is, or how much decimeter cube it is? Multiply this by 10 raised to minus 3 like this. So 4000 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3, it comes equal to 4 decimeter cube. Convert it to the meter cube. Again, for converting it to the meter cube, multiply this 4000 directly by 10 raised to minus 6, means 6 decimals on left side, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, means 0.004. in that manner 6 decimals on left side, 0.004 meter cube. Conversions of volume are also important, same as that of the convergence of pressure for solving the problems. In the next lecture, we will see the concept of maximum work and expression for maximum work.